Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today I have a cool thing to show you from Sailor and my friends over at Goldspot Pens. Goldspot Pens has this exclusive Sailor 1911 large pen that I'm about to show you, and they sent it out to me to show to you and to play with and such. So thank you very much to Goldspot for sending this out for me to review and show everybody. This pen comes out today, if you're watching this on the day it drops, July 9th of 2024. And let's get in this box here. It has a very authoritative lid. Like, that means business. So here we go. This is the pen on its little pen pillow. I'm going to take this out and set it aside for just a sec. Come on out. There we go. You have a few things here. A couple of Sailor branded cartridges. Remember that Sailor uses a proprietary cartridge and converter, so you can't just throw whatever you like in there. But this does come with 2 cartridges and also the converter, which was in this bag until I put it in that pen. Also here I have a little Sailor bookmark here that is all about the Sailor America limited warranty, and then a little book of instructions and that sort of thing about how to use a pen. Now the other thing that I sort of set aside here was this little warning, which comes in the pen sleeve, the little plastic deal that the pen was in. It says, please note the nib on this pen is specially ion plated to give the unique color. Only Sailor ink should be used with this pen to avoid damage to the nib plating. Any damage to the nib caused by the use of other branded inks will not be covered under the Sailor standard warranty. So I've gone ahead and put a Sailor ink in here because I'll follow the rules if you give them to me. All right, here is the Sailor 1911 large Cthulhu. Now, this pen only comes in the large size. And the large size is actually my preference for the 1911. I really like the larger size of this pen. It is, however, a bit more expensive than the regular size, the standard size Sailors, so keep that sort of thing in mind. I will show you a bunch of Sailors alongside this pen here when we do size comparisons, but for now, a couple of stats here. When this pen is capped, it is 5.55 inches long, and that gives you a pocket depth of about 5 inches, actually kind of 5 inches dead on, it seems like. So that is a pretty good size pen. It is a fairly normal size pen, really, when it is capped. Uncapped, like it is, you get 4.84 inches, which is, I think, a perfectly cromulent length. And you can post this, and that brings it up to 6 inches, just a little bit over 6 inches long, just a smidge over. So very nice sized pen here. You can see the body of this pen is a deep tealy green that is a little bit hard to describe, I think, other than saying just deep tealy green. The finials here on the top, the bottom, and also the section are really nice, shimmery. Well, this is more of a regular green, I would say, like a little bit of a sea glass green, maybe a bit deeper than that, perhaps. And then you can see all the hardware on here is that ion plated thing. So it is, as you can see there, kind of a shiny black, like a shiny metallic black. The lights really want to reflect off of it, but you can't see it otherwise. So yeah, I think it's a good look. I like this plating on that Sailor does. I think it always looks nice. It's a little bit more, a little bit different from the ruthenium plating that you get on some other pens. So it's got more of a, I don't know, more of a gloss to it. I think it's very shiny and metallic. Very nice in the hand. Very comfortable pen to hold. The diameter for the section down here is kind of right where I like it, between 10 and 11 millimeters. Just a little bit over 10, a little bit over 11, depending where you are on this little slope here. But very comfortable pen to write with. Even posted, no problem. Unposted, perfectly cromulent length as well. Goes up beyond the web of my hand there. And I've got big hands, so if you have smaller hands than mine, this will fit totally fine. But you might not like it posted quite as much. I think the cap on this is fairly light. It doesn't have a whole bunch of spring mechanism and that sort of thing back here that would make it back heavy. It is a little bit back heavy, perhaps, but not too bad. So if you're a person who likes to post your pens, this is a very postable pen. The nibs for this pen are the larger size nibs that Sailor does, the 21K nibs that you will find on the Sailor 1911 large, and also the Pro Gear, like the larger, I don't know, I guess the regular sized Pro Gear, I should say, not the slim and not the King of Pen. These are really nice nib. The 21K nibs have a little bit more give to them in general than the smaller size nibs do, but they aren't soft or kind of bouncy feeling like the King of Pen nib. They're very sort of an intermediate sort of nib. I went ahead and got the music stub on this one. You can see it says Maybe you can see, yeah, MS right there on the side. There are a lot of nibs available for this pen. It comes in extra fine, medium broad, zoom, and music. So I went ahead and got music. The music stub for this pen, as we'll see when we do the writing sample, is a little bit on the finicky side, and it took me some time to get used to because they do a very squared off music nib there at Sailor these days. You can see how square the tipping is there, and it has those little corners. So it is writable. You can write with the very tip of it if you like. Otherwise, it is kind of like it's a fairly formal italic style. So if you don't like writing with an italic, the music stub might not be the one for you, but there are so many others to choose from that, you know, if you're like, I don't know if I'm on the fence about this one, maybe choose a different one than the music stub. However, Tom did say that if you get one and you have problems with it, just let them know and they will help you deal with it through replacement or what have you. But you know, pick the nib that's best for you. I like this one. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to it, as I said, but it does write very nicely, as we will see here soon. All right, other things. The weight on this one is a bit under an ounce when it is capped or posted, and it's about half an ounce, 0.6 ounces when it is unposted. So it's got a little bit of weight to it, more than some other just straight up plastic bodied pens, just because it is fairly large, but I think it's well balanced and it feels nice in the hand. So that weight hasn't bothered me at all. And certainly it's going to be lighter than most of your metal pens and that sort of jazz. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some comparisons to other pens, especially Sailors. Okay, so here we have a bunch of Sailor pens, sort of the more normal ones in the lineup, not counting the Mini, Pro Gear, and the Chelana. These are just a bunch of Sailor pens in various sizes. Here we have the Pro Gear Slim. This is the smaller of the two Pro Gears. This is the regular old Pro Gear here. The 1911 Standard and the 1911 Large, and then the King of Pen in Pro Gear because I don't have that one in 1911. So you can see this is sort of a nice kind of slope up here. The Pro Gear in the King of Pen and the 1911 Large are about the same length, but they are different in things like width, and they use a very different nib and that sort of jazz. So when you're looking at nibs on these, you'll see that these two have the same nib, these two have the same nib, and then the Pro Gear King of Pen is in a class of its own. So let's take off these caps and see how they look without those caps. All right, so here we have these pens in their uncapped sizes. And you can see, as I said, this one is in a whole class of its own. These two are using the same nib, but this one has their sort of, I believe it's called tricolor with the silver, gold, and then silver stripes. This one is of course, the black ion, silver, and full-on gold. This one I think is a rose gold sort of color. So yeah, this is the larger of the Sailors in the normal line, and it is just about as long as the King of Pen, even though the King of Pen has a larger nib. This one is about the same length. So if you like something a little bit larger than the 1911 Standard or the Pro Gear sizes, you're gonna enjoy this 1911 Large. I think it's a really good size, good looking pen, fits the hand well, and let's do a little writing sample here. Okay, let's do a little writing sample with this music nib here. And here's the thing, like I said, I'm still getting used to this nib and how it works. It is a little bit finicky because of how squared off it is and how I am a little bit careless about how I hold my pen. If you have a better writing posture than I do, you're going to have no problem with this, but I am not really an italic writer. So let's give this a shot. So I'm going off the camera a little bit there. That actually went really well. I'm kind of surprised by how well it started up, even though I've been waving it around for quite a while during this review. This nib will give you very nice broad downstrokes. Actually, if you press on it, you're going to make it railroad, Mike. Also, if you twist it a little bit, you're going to make it railroad. So the problem for me is that I tend to turn my pen just a little bit, or if I'm not paying attention, or if I'm trying to look around a microphone while we get the microphone over here, and there we go. If I'm trying to look around a microphone while I'm writing with it, I do give myself problems because I will just catch like the edge. And if you catch the edge of this nib, this little corner, it's just not going to write. You have to get the whole thing on the page, Mike, or it won't work. So yeah, there you go. When you put it on the page, it writes no problem. So if you're going to get a music nib, make sure that you're the sort of person that can pay attention to that sort of thing. I'm going to have to give it a little bit more time and practice, I think, to get going. Yeah, but no problems once you are paying attention to how you're writing, even if you're scribbling fairly quickly. you're not going to have any problem writing with this pen. It will write at the vertical, or at least very close to vertical, just kind of up and down. And that is a thing that music nibs are supposed to be good at. And it will give you line variation even when you're going very vertical, which is nice because with a music nib, you're supposed to be able to write music with it. I don't know if I can write music. A little bit, because you're supposed to be like being able to write with this more or less vertical on like a stand, like a music stand sort of thing, as you are as you're writing music or what have you. So yeah, I think this is a very nice nib. I don't know. It's not a nib I would recommend for everybody, but all of these Sailor nibs that I've used have been very good. I even have like an extra fine in this size nib, and it is extremely nice. So yeah, find yourself the nib that you like in this one. Summon the deep one if you dare, and grab yourself a Cthulhu because these are really beautiful. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with this, with regard to this pen, is price. Now, it is the 1911 large size, and it is an exclusive, so it is going to be more expensive. The MSRP for this one here is $490, which gives it a street price of $392 on the street. So, fairly expensive pen, but all of these larger sailors are going to be like that. So if the price point and the possibility of madness don't scare you off, grab yourself one of these Cthulhus because these are pretty darn cool pens, really beautiful. Thanks again to Goldspot for sending this out to me for me to show to everyone. And if you grab one of these, tell Goldspot that I said hi, that you saw it here. That sort of thing always helps out a channel like mine, and I always appreciate it. So thanks very much. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I will see you in another video soon, and until then, peace out.